Kate joins me here on set. So, Kate, friction between France, Germany, and Spain continues to simmer over the future of their European fighter jet program.
Yeah, Emmanuel Macron saying this week that he remains firmly committed to this plan for a next-generation fighter jet, which could replace the Rafale and Eurofighters that those militaries currently use. Now, disagreement between manufacturers Dassault and Airbus are threatening to derail the project, which had been hailed as an important show of European solidarity. On Wednesday, the German Chancellor suggested that he might abandon the FCAS program, saying that Germany doesn't need the same kind of planes that France does. And Airbus itself said this Thursday that it could build 2 separate fighter jets if its customers request them. Luke Schrago has the story.
It's meant to be the future of European military aviation. A €100 billion program for a joint jet and drone system between France, Germany and Spain. But the Future Combat Air System might be about to stall out, with Berlin fed up of disagreements between manufacturers.
We have been working for months, for years, to make this project a success. I share the Chancellor's skepticism. It is not a problem between the governments or the nations. It is a problem that exists between the industries, which we cannot easily solve, and we will see in the next few days how this progresses.
Paris and Berlin inked an agreement in 2017, with Madrid signing on 2 years later. But France's Dassault Aviation has stoked turbulence in seeking a larger role over the actual fighter component. The crux is France's particular requirement for nuclear weapons-capable jets that can land on aircraft carriers that Germany doesn't need. And Airbus, handling the German side, indicated on Thursday it could split the program in 2.
If there are 2 aircraft in parallel, then what will become important is a level of commonality between those 2 aircraft. And we will do what is necessary to make the roadmap work. We won't be on both aircraft.
At a time of deep geopolitical upheaval, however, Paris wants anything but the further fragmentation of European defence.
We have every interest in standardizing, simplifying, and adopting a common model. First, we had the strategic decision. Then, we had friction between companies. That's life in business. But should that determine state strategy? The answer is no.
For the time being, there are more questions than answers, particularly when it comes to further German purchases of the US F-35 fighter. Berlin has already bought 35 of the jets, with deliveries expected later this year.
Apple is being sued over its alleged role in distributing child pornography. The U.S. state of West Virginia described the case as the first of its kind by a government agency. While many tech firms, including Google, Microsoft, and Meta, scan photos and attachments that are uploaded to their platforms and then report potentially suspicious material showing child sexual abuse, Apple has not gone as far because of concerns about user privacy. A press release from the Attorney General of West Virginia cites a previously reported text from a then Apple executive describing it as the greatest platform for distributing child porn. The press release says the firm took no meaningful action to stop that. Quote, rather than implement industry standard detection tools used by its peers, Apple repeatedly shirked their responsibility to protect children under the guise of user privacy. Now, Apple has repeatedly denied wrongdoing in similar lawsuits by private plaintiffs. And on Thursday, it said it was, quote, innovating every day, that protecting safety and privacy of their users, especially children, is central to what we do, end quote. Well, the United States has threatened to quit the International Energy Agency if it doesn't scrap its commitment to net zero emissions targets. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said the Paris-based group should refocus on its founding mission of ensuring energy security. The IEA was created in 1974 to coordinate responses to the oil crises of that era. It has recently become a champion of renewable energy and in 2015 signed on to the Paris Accords, targeting net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Speaking at a ministerial meeting on Thursday, Wright said the Trump administration would pull out of the IEA if it doesn't abandon that goal within a year.
There has been such a group mentality, 10 years invested in an illusion, but a destructive illusion of net zero 2050, that the U.S. will use all the pressure we have to get the IEA to eventually, in the next year or so, move away from this agenda.
Monty, this is, of course, very on brand for the administration, which in recent weeks has left the Paris Agreement for the second time, pulled out of the UN Framework Convention on climate change, and also, of course, thrown away that scientific underpinning of all U.S. environmental legislation.
A lot of changes. Okay, Kate Moody with Business. Kate, thanks as always.